Hey everybody, this is Guy Jeans with Bustin' Jeans, where the food's so good, it'll make your jeans bust. Anyway, today I'm gonna do something for you, which is gonna be make something very simple that everybody's done. I'm gonna make a chili from scratch and not so scratch because these guys are hungry. So stay tuned. See what I got going on. All right, what we're gonna start with is one green bell pepper, one red bell pepper, and I've got one full onion underneath this on this paper plate because I don't like to wash dishes. So we're gonna heat our pot up and we're going to add olive oil. I'm gonna add some of that. Bang. Get it in there. Doesn't need to be a lot, but doesn't really matter. So you're gonna learn by me. I don't really do teaspoons and stuff. I just throw things in to taste. All right, over medium-high heat, we are going to add, if I can pick it up with one hand, our ingredients. Make sure those are in. Make sure you're over medium-high heat, so go like, make sure you don't really want to get this stuff, we'll just heat it up to get them translucent, work all the flavors together. I'm gonna add some spices. So a lot of people say add them during your day. I do have fresh garlic, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this so that this takes a little bit of time away for me. So if you're looking, I'm using a spoon. I like a lot of garlic, so do a lot of people. I'm gonna use probably, I don't know, some people say use like teaspoons, blah, 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 blah. Me, 2 tablespoons, pretty much. Okay, so now we're gonna add some black pepper. I'm just gonna put it over the top. This is what I'm talking about, me adding it a little early. That's a lot of black pepper. But we're gonna add enough to this that it won't take up that much of it. I'm using sea salt actually. I don't really use table salt that they give you. Okay, so now that I got all those, they're sweating pretty good, getting ready, so it's time to add my meat. Just to let you know, what I'm gonna do is the family, we had some fajita meat the other night, or fajitas the other night. We didn't eat a couple of the steaks, so I'm going to dice some of those steaks up really good. I'm also gonna use my fatty meat, which is gonna be my chili meat, because I need that fat, because I don't care what anybody says about draining the fat off your meat. I never do that. I mean, if it's excessive, but other than that, that's the good part, right? So thawed meat, ready? Into the pot you go. All right, I'm gonna cook this until I get this stuff brown. It's starting to turn a little brown. And then we're ready for the next step. Brown up a little bit nicely. I'm gonna let it run a little bit more, but I'm also gonna go ahead and add my seasonings that I wanna add. So let me tell you what I did. So I got this right here. I'm doing this because if you haven't noticed, it's a little shaky because I don't have my little stand to actually record this. So I'm just doing this by my hands. So anyway, right now we've got cumin, chili powder, cayenne pepper, paprika, you got onion powder, garlic powder, and a little garlic pepper, which I like to add to a lot of stuff. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna start putting it all over our meat, right here, and go ahead and mix it up. It's starting to brown on the bottom there. Okay, so we got a good browning on our meat. We got quite a bit of that fat sitting in there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our tomatoes. Now this is gonna be sort of hard for me to do with holding on to the tomatoes, but this is what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use some tomato paste, mix that up. Starting to get that chili look. One can of green chilies and tomatoes diced. Now I could do that myself and dice up the tomatoes and the chilies or the jalapeno, but this just makes it easier for the purposes, and like I said, family's hungry. And another can. Mix. Right here is the point where I'm gonna cook it, but I gotta watch how I cook it because I don't want to burn the tomatoes, but I do want to get some of that sugar and chard on the bottom of the pot here. So I'm gonna let this cook and watch it every now and then, scrape the bottom, and then and only then will I start adding my liquid. But typically people rush to this and just go ahead and put the liquid up first. So I don't do that, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so everything's working the way we want, and we're starting to get the consistency that I like to see when we're starting with a little bit of the char on the bottom of the pot, so when you scrape it, you can try and get some of those good tidbits of burnt flavor into your chili. So now we're going to start adding our liquids, which is a fairly simple process. Oops. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, what you just saw, me pour a beer into my chili. But chili always goes good with beer. And I added about 32 ounces of beef broth. So I'm going to bring this to a boil, but first, not a boil, more like a simmer. And I'm gonna let this thing simmer for, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes. But I don't wanna lose too much, and I don't want it to reduce too much right now. So I'm gonna put a lid on it. Just like that. Okay, let's wait. On second thought, why are we gonna wait? What goes good with chili? Cornbread. So what I did is I added honey and sweet jalapenos to my first cornbread, and regular jalapenos pickled, diced obviously, and cheddar cheese to my second cornbread. So you have a sweet and you have a not so sweet that you can add to your chili. We're getting there. All right, now I think I'm gonna leave the top off and reduce. Okay, so I typically wouldn't do this, and I know everybody's gonna probably give me some guff. Remember that word? Guff. Not in my lifetime. Life? Not my lifetime. So I know everybody's gonna give me some grief over this, and I don't really do this, but I am gonna add beans to the chili, and the reason for that is my kids have asked me to. So I've picked 2 cans of Bush's, I guess it's like chili bean, but it's basically kidney beans, and I've added it to the chili. So if you see beans in the after picture, you know where they came from. Yeah. Okay guys, it's where I want it, and I'm fixing to do something that some of you may question. So, actually my grandmother taught me this. So you can add flour at the beginning of your process when you're making your meat and your vegetables and everything else, and work the flour in to make your roux. You can also add a thickening agent at the end, which I'm going to use flour and water. I'm not using milk, so that I can thicken up my chili, which actually has a pretty good consistency, but I like a really thick chili. So we're gonna add this guy to here. So now, as you can see, it's getting pretty thick. Bubbles are rolling up. It's looking really good. Some of you may question why I used flour instead of corn starch. And the reason is just I feel like that it adds something to the flavor that cornstarch doesn't at times. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get the cornbread ready. Okay, well that's it, and now it's time for everybody to eat. So, we're gonna dig in.
No. Well, that's on the screen.
Ready to dig in? Ready to eat?
Yes, I'm starving.
What you need to say?
I want food.
Let's eat.
Yeah. Why do you have to do this?
Well, you wanted to be in the camera. So what do you think? No? Well, there you have it. For your from scratch,
I can't
not
find
so
a
from
small
scratch
enough stone.
chili.